Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Sunday. It's Daryl here. It is bright and freaking early, man. It's 3 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. As you can see, the sun is up. It's actually 3 p.m. Saturday, but I'm going to download this Sunday morning. So, for all intents and purposes, happy Sunday to everybody. Okay, why haven't I talked about the earthquake yet? I'll fill you in on that in a second. I was debating what to talk about in this because, to be honest with you guys, I didn't feel it. It was a 4.8 earthquake at approximately 10:30 Friday morning. That was in White House, New Jersey, which is about 150 miles from where I'm sitting right here. And the shock waves easily propagated up into New York City, through Connecticut, all the way up to Maine. There was plenty of people. There's lots of videos all over the place. I'll see if I can put some down below from here in Connecticut with stuff falling off the walls, houses shaking, all sorts of stuff going on. And I found something interesting too. About half the people I've talked to experienced loud a loud thunderous sound shaking of the house. Because I've been through earthquakes before. I've talked about this before. I've been through one in Maine back when I was 12 years old. I landed in San Francisco the day after the famous 1989 World Series earthquake, and I experienced aftershocks of like 5 point something, 6 point something in California. I actually saw water splashing out of an in-ground pool during an aftershock. The palm tree, the trees were shaking like this, the street signs were shaking, and water was coming out of an in-ground pool. I will never forget that. Okay, so what happened here Friday? And then the other stuff that's happened. Wednesday, a lightning strike on the Statue of Liberty. And Monday is a solar eclipse. So what is going on? Is it the apocalypse? Is NIRUBU coming? I'm going to talk about NIRUBU more in a second. If you don't know what NIRUBU is, it's a supposedly, this is a theory that there's a planet, a huge planet that we don't know about that's going to enter the solar system and impact the Earth and cause devastation. I'll have the link down below if you don't know what NIRUBU is. I was caught up in a NIRUBU fever back in 2015, and I still have the Facebook pages on my phone. I'm going to read to you guys some because now these pages are sparking back up again with people in conspiracy theories. I'm going to read you a couple posts from NIRUBU prognosticators in a second. Let me talk about the earthquake first. Okay, so first of all, I'm going through I told you guys, I have a routine. I get up about 2:30. I work on my video for you guys. I publish it by about 4. I work out from 4 a.m. to about 9 a.m. and then I ride a bike from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. I do my painting in the afternoon. So Friday I get back home from my bike ride at about 10:15, and I'm going through my Facebook pages and I see my friends talking about an earthquake, about stuff shaking their house. And I didn't know what had happened. I didn't feel anything. So I started thinking, it's like, did all my friends move to California or what? Why? What are these people? They must be living. How come all my friends are living in California now? That's the first thing I thought. And then I found out there was an earthquake. Now I'm like, why didn't I feel this? I had no idea there was an earthquake. So I started timing it out because I kind of figured that I was on my mountain bike. I was bumping around on trails and roads and cruising around, and I'm usually bumping around. So in that case, I didn't think I would feel it. But that's not the case. I timed it out. And I got back here to my apartment at about 10:15, about 20 minutes before the earthquake. And I was actually sitting in front of the TV eating, having my breakfast/lunch when this all occurred. And I did not feel a thing. This is a new building. This building is only like 16 years old. I don't know if it's constructed really well. There was an aftershock at 6 p.m., a 4.0 aftershock at 6 p.m. Friday night. And I didn't feel that either. And here's the weird thing. As I was watching TV, I heard people outside screaming and yelling. And it was Friday night. People were getting out of work. I was like, geez, it's kind of early for people to be already drunk, because I heard people screaming and yelling and all sorts of nonsense out in the parking lot. And apparently it was people outside. that felt the earthquake. So this is, and it gets weirder. It gets weirder. I've talked to people. Some people felt it. Some people felt nothing. Some people felt the couch shake. They saw their TV rattle around on the entertainment center. Here's a weird one. My mom and my stepdad. My stepdad was sitting in the living room watching, I believe, golf, and my mom was at the kitchen table. And my stepdad walks into the kitchen, and he was like, what was that? What was that noise with the shaking? What was that? And my mom didn't feel it. And this isn't, it's just not with my family. There's other stories where I've heard this over and over again, where some people felt it and some people didn't. The weirdest one, like I said, was with my mom and my stepdad in the same house, and one of them felt, one of them got all shaken up and the other one didn't. How or why this is happening, I have no idea. In general, I think people here on the East Coast, I was surprised because everybody's kind of nonchalant about it. I'll have a link down below. There's a video down below of New York City, of Times Square, of the actual earthquake, and the Times Square shaking, and you can't even tell. It's like people just went right on about their business, which is, I have to laugh. You can't shock New Yorkers, and people in New England. I think I think we move faster here. I think our days and our folk, we seem to be on a faster speed than a lot of other parts of the country. I don't know if that's the case. New York more so. And I don't know if we're just so caught up in our daily routines that we hear these banging and shaking and it doesn't faze us. I really don't know what's going on with that. Okay, like I said, there was a lightning strike on the Statue of Liberty, and now the eclipse coming up Monday. And so there's conspiracy theorists, they're waking back up. And I was reading a couple posts. Like I said, I have Facebook pages back from 2000, I think it was like 2015 when I first started dating Audrey. And there was a big hubbub. There was a lot of talk back then about NIRUBU. It was a big thing. Like, the flat earth and NIRUBU kind of died out. I was never a flat earther. I'm not that bad. But I forgot what it was. I think I saw something weird in the sky when I was down in Daytona. I think that's what it was. And I started looking into it, and I was really getting fascinated by this whole NIRUBU thing. I'll have the link for NIRUBU. It's like I said, it's supposedly a planetary object, and it's supposed to move close to the United States, to the country, to the Earth. All right, so I'm going to read you. Now, like I said, these sites have been waking up again, and these posts are just within the last 3 days. And I'm going to read you some of these posts on this the link will be down below, so you could actually go to these Facebook sites and read them yourself and read some more of the theories behind this. All right, so let me read you one of these posts from NIRUBU. The world has been preparing for an event. Military has been moving things around all over the world. We're being told to prep, but not being told why. I didn't notice that. I didn't know. Are we being told to prep? There's always the people that are the preppers that are, I didn't notice any uptick in it, but I wouldn't be surprised. Rich people / the elites have been building underground bunkers all over the world. I have been reading about stuff like that more. There's been a couple, I've read a couple articles on that, about people, I think, buying islands, like P. Diddy and some of those guys. All right. The sun has been producing X flares very frequently. I don't know what X flares are. I've never heard of them. And on April 8th, 2 major celestial events are happening. We have a solar eclipse, and at the same time, a horned comet will be on its way to make its pass around the sun. So we will be able to see. We will be able to see it. If this comet is the dragon from the Revelation 12 sign, which happened back in 2017, it's known as NIRUBU. Okay, NIRUBU has a massive tail, and when it approaches the sun and heats up, it will shed massive debris, not to mention where it is. NIRUBU has some sort of magnetic influence. If if this comet, now see, they're calling it a comet here. There's other people that call it, it's a whole planet, like the mysterious an unfound planet. But some people think it's a comet. If this comet during the eclipse is NIRUBU, when it circles the sun, it will fling all that space debris from its tail outward. If the Earth is in the crosshairs, we're going to get showered by the tail. The magnetic influence could influence communications, the electrical grid, and could also affect people in neurological ways and cause changes in behavior. I'm surprised he's not saying stuff about zombies yet. Possibly spark conflict. There we go. I'm going to drop some mind-blowing scripture below. He says, I didn't copy that. The link will be down below to this. Okay, here's another one. Things that make me go, a possible scenario. The April 8th, 2024 solar eclipse. Warnings of cellular network collapse, internet collapse, grocery stores running out of food, disaster declarations, gas stations running out of fuel. No, none of these things are normal to me at all. It's starting to look like something else, capital letters, is going on. ... But what? These guys should write novels. They should write science fiction. During an eclipse with the sun blocked, people may be able to see things up in the sky that they otherwise wouldn't be able to see because of the sunlight, because the sunlight is so strong and blocks the view of things in space. Could it be something else is going on? Maybe something that people will suddenly be able to see once the sun is blocked for a few minutes. Might people panic over what they see? What if something is coming at us? It is not like we can avoid it. There's no Bruce Willis as Harry Stamper from the movie Armageddon to drill holes in an asteroid to drop nukes, blow it up, and save the planet. Boy, this guy did his homework. Is it possible that governments have known about this? Is just full on tinfoil hat. This is full blown, man. Is it possible that governments have known about something for months and have concealed it? What if they're actually right? And like in 5 days, I'm going to look like I'm going to be the one, that was wrong. When I read that New York State has had a task force working for the past 17 months, capital, that kind of sealed the deal over my suspicions. It seems to me that absolutely nobody, capital letters, does something like that over an eclipse. I'm getting a little creeped out by all these disaster declarations. All this for just a solar eclipse? ? Sorry, I won't buy it. Hal Turner, when the eclipse happens worldwide. That's it. So, the conspiracy theory, I love it. Honestly, I love reading this stuff. I love reading science fiction. This is better than science fiction. It really makes you think, though. Sometimes they latch onto something that almost seems a little possible. So if all of a sudden, say Monday, if I saw like a bunch of army trucks driving down the interstate here, then I might start going back to some of these NIRUBU pages and seeing what's going on. And you know what? And here's the bottom line. Can we do anything about it? Like I said in some of my other videos, I've lived a good 58 years of my life. I kind of believe it now that I'm in my recovery. Last 17 years that I didn't think I'd ever live this long. So I feel like I'm kind of in a bonus round anyway. I don't have any kids. I'm not married. So, if things were good to hit the fan next week, I'd probably just pull up a chair and get a glass of lemonade and enjoy the show, man. And go out with my peace of mind. All right, let me know what you think. Let me know if you have some inside information on NIRUBU or any of these other conspiracy theories. I'll be back with another video. You guys have a great Sunday.